Welcome to Meaningful Mondays with the Community Foundation of Middlesex County, where we only know good people who do great things in our community. Whether you are a volunteer, a donor, or a nonprofit organization, each episode of Meaningful Mondays will celebrate you, our friends and neighbors who have a deep passion for and commitment to improving the quality of life for all in Middlesex County. So let's kick off the week with great conversations with remarkable people, businesses, and nonprofits making a difference right in our own backyard. Well, welcome everybody to Meaningful Mondays at the Community Foundation of Middlesex County and in all of Middlesex County. Every day is great in Middlesex County, don't get me wrong, but Mondays are particularly meaningful. And today is very special for us because our board chair, Maureen Westbrook, is with us. And we're sort of going to take a look back and a look forward, Maureen. You were gracious enough to assume the role of board this year in 2025. And it's been a whirlwind, I would say, of a lot of things. And so we've done a lot. We had a lot planned that we didn't get to. So let's start with what are some of the highlights for you?
Well, it's been an honor to serve as the chair of this board, and the organization is something I'm just so proud to be part of. I love the concept of giving local and helping people right in our own backyards. And there's no better way to execute that in my mind than through the Community Foundation. And I would say, 2025, by all measures, when you look at all the metrics that we try to capture and the goals, it was a very successful year for the Community Foundation. A number of new gifts and pledges from donors, new and continued partnerships, and then the number of grants that we've made to local nonprofits that are making a difference every day in the community. It's just amazing. But this is only possible with the amazing team at Community Foundation and the members of our board and the committees who work so hard every day to connect the dots with our donors and the people that we serve. And our mantra to help good people do great things. So.
And we're all in this together has been what we've also added, I think,
Right.
and that has been proven because you're so right. So I don't have the exact number of grants that we gave, but I do have a number that to us is just amazing. So thanks to you and the board members, we've approved $2.3 million in grants that will go out into the community. And you're very kind to mention the staff, but it takes a village to do this. And so it's not only the board and the staff, but it's also the entire community and all the partnerships that we have. So to me, it's what community is all about, period.
Right, absolutely. And I think, it's one thing to look at those numbers, and they are amazing numbers, but to your point, to see the impact that those have in the community, and whether it's, the different grants, whether it's to the camps or to the Janman partnerships with the libraries or the pop-up grants, that just a random grant to an organization that doesn't even know it's coming, but a small amount, but that really can make a difference in one of these local entities that's trying to do something in our local communities. So.
And I'm going to hold this up. Nobody can see all of it, but if we talk about all the partners that we have, we should really just do a shout out. Every entity in the community has partnered with us, but a special shout out to the hospital, Wesleyan, Wheelan Engineering, so many family foundations and private foundations that partner with us to augment what we can give out. And we in turn will give them ideas for other grants that they can give. But Essex Steam Train, the fact that they will donate tickets and a private car for some folks who might never ever get on the North Pole Express, excuse me if I use the wrong name, and have a lot of fun. So it's just that little thing, somebody doing what they can do to make some happiness happen, spread some joy.
And it's always fun to see whether it's the thank you notes people send or the pictures they send afterwards of those things. But as you say, the people enjoying opportunities they would never otherwise have. The all-terrain vehicle at the Burnham Brook, that you have people out there being able to access trails that would never have that opportunity otherwise. The buddy bench that is just a hug to whoever needs it, to be able to, know there's people out there that are connecting and supporting them. And just so many other entities that are out there, whether it's helping animals or community organizations, the urban gardening, and so many things out there that really make a difference in the community and really connect people to the to what's going on for them.
And I always think it's the little things that you just might take for granted that we can connect the dots to and happen. I mean, I'll use Essex Steam Train again. We do a lot with them, and they in return sort of give back to the community through us. And then if you look at, you mentioned the camps, that's one of my favorite things to do. And that family fund, now the people that are participating in that live in Arizona, but they still want to give back to the community that they really care about. So that kind of thing continuing is just very special. And my favorite really is the Buddy Bench. Being able to install not only in Portland and install one in Middletown, and spreading that word about people making a difference out of some things that might be sad, but they're making lemonade out of lemons. Those kinds of things stick out to me.
And I was struck with as the authorized signer for all the checks that we just issued for the food banks and places like that, in partnership with Liberty Bank. I mean, that is an impressive amount of money that goes back from people in the community and the partnership with Liberty Bank to then able to serve people boots on the ground who really right now are facing challenges they never did before. And it was just exciting to be able to have Community Foundation as part of that.
Writer's cramp and all, you liked it.
I'll take it.
There you go. But a shout out to the staff and the board too, because the staff works tirelessly, Thayer, Jennifer, Heather, tirelessly behind the scenes. And you never think about like, oh, to get that check out the door, there had to be some administrative work and some tracking report that got done. So hats off to them.
Absolutely. They make it look seamless to all of us, but I know there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that make it happen and make it go to those places that really need it.
And I wonder if people realize that there are so many community members who participate in the grant making process. I mean, if you think about it, there are 10 committees that review and help make decisions about where the funds go. Good grief, I want somebody to give us $1 gazillion so we don't ever have to say no. But that really, 10 committees. And if you think about that, that's a lot of people.
Right. And they are very thoughtful and do a lot to review the applications and really trying to make sure it does have the impact in Middlesex County that is intended there. And so it's not just a phone call where or one committee meeting, there's the behind the scenes stuff, and that truly helps us make good decisions and deliver those with the greatest impact.
So you're now going into another term on the board. So Maureen, as board chair, was there something this year that really surprised you?
I think what I've told many people is I think what struck me is the impact and the reach of the Community Foundation and our partner organizations. And whether it was at the Leadership Circle lunch, which was with people who had been long supporters of the Community Foundation, or the grantee reception, where you had different organizations that were recipients talking to us and talking to each other about things that they do and where they are providing services and the impact in the community. And I think just knowing how much a difference it does make and how a small contribution from somebody can help move that forward. And whether it's, volunteering in a capacity, a donation, it doesn't always have to be big money or, big time commitment, but the ability to make a difference in a way just by being part of something that matters to you.
And speaking of the grantee reception, we were lucky enough to be invited to an annual meeting of one of the grantees, and they went on and on and on about the energy that was generated by meeting other nonprofits. Not that they all got the same amount of money, but just understanding what each other does, because you don't have the opportunity to do that.
Right. And I think that's something we talk about it often, that, we're here to connect the dots, and whether it's you or the staff knowing a need someplace and being able to connect them with a fund, or if it's just getting people who are similarly working on projects that might somehow have a connection or be able to align with somebody else, or just lessons learned with our, the workshops that we do for the nonprofits through our community, our resource center. that's another way we connect dots and help keep those local nonprofits strong and help them deliver the services that we rely on them to do here.
Thank you for mentioning the Nonprofit Resource Center, because let's give a shout out to our vice chair, Tom Gizzo, who really leads the way on so many of those initiatives. And now, quite honestly, is a rock star, thanks to our board member, Nikki Gardiano Paradis, who at Option A Group, who has recorded some of his webinars. And that to me is the fact that you can do it. Not that I want nonprofits to work at 8 o'clock at night, but if you can't make a meeting, you have the opportunity to do that. So again, using the skills. But I will give a shout out to Tom, because since 2018, he has facilitated the CEO network. And that is that collaboration of CEOs coming together to share successes, failures, woes, and especially during the pandemic was really wonderful. And now he's even taking on another network of future leaders for the nonprofits. And that's really a big concern of our industry, if you will, about the up and coming nonprofit leaders for philanthropy. So hats off to Tom.
Absolutely. He's done a great job and really grateful for all he's done there.
And hats off to Nikki and Option A Group, because they will be editing this after we're done and taking out any bloopers we might have. So
that's right. Now, they've been a great partner too in helping us just organize and think about how we can get the message out more in the community about what Community Foundation does. I think, we've had smaller gatherings this year with friends and family to connect to the Community Foundation. And I think the more people learn about it, the more they want to be part of it. And I think Option A is helping us tell that story, and just getting out with our own people talking about it is really great.
I'm always fascinated that people don't realize at the very beginning how complex we really are. And it's like peeling back the layers of all the things that we do. And that's a hard story to tell in one line.
Right.
And
Because the
maybe
staff makes it look easy, but we know there's a lot more behind the scenes to have
Yeah.
that all connect.
Yeah. So anyway, but I want to give a shout out to those board members, if you don't mind, who are cycling off, and thank them. And we appreciate all they've done for us. So to Mark Levine, Todd Pizeski, Teresa Sister, Clint Reed, and Deborah Moore, they have brought us up. Everybody adds a little something, and then just to add their skill sets and get us even more to where we are. And then a shout out to the new board members, Lenny Goldberg, Grant Sanborn, and to Jada Loutet. And we've been involved with them. I mean, Grant is relatively new, but we've been involved with Lenny and Jada for a while. And just to know that they bring a whole new set of skill sets that will add to what we already do.
Absolutely. We're excited to have them come on board and look forward to working with them.
So what words of wisdom do you have for everybody out there about the Community Foundation?
I would just, again, recognize how lucky we are to have so many dedicated board members, volunteers who support our work. There's so many competing demands for everybody these days, and to have people who invest their time and talents to help us is great. And just really, again, to emphasize to people that getting involved, you can be on a committee. You don't have to be on the board. You can be on a committee that meets, just once or twice a year or something. You can attend an event when we have one, just to learn more about us.
Right.
Or over time, get more involved. But I think just knowing what the Community Foundation does really makes you want to do more.
Well, if you would, I have my list of board members, so I think we should give a shout out to all of them. And I would forget, because I'm hoping I always say we're guilty by association in a good way. And we are so fortunate to have these wonderful people. So Scotty Brown from East Haddam, Laura Colbank Clinton. And that's the other thing. We're bringing in every aspect of the community. Brett Director from Cromwell, Kyle Eagleson from Ascend Bank, Tom Gizzo, Old Saybrook, David Glidden from Middletown, Nikki Gardiano Paradis from Essex, where her business is, Mark Levine from Haddam, Larry McHugh and from Middletown, Susan Martin from Hingham, Deborah Moore from Killingworth, Scott Nardosi from Cobalt, Wendy Pollard from Essex, Todd Pizeski from Clinton, Clint Reed from Essex. Gosh, Jessica Sheff from Durham, Teresa Sester, Essex, Pam Steele from Middletown, Andy Tanaka from Middletown, you from Deep River, Gary Wallace from Middletown, and I'm sure I've left somebody out, and I apologize if I have. So they are just absolutely amazing.
Absolutely. And we're so lucky to have them. And when you read the list, it's, geographic diversity, but it's also a mix of skills and experience that really all contribute to whatever it is we're trying to do here. And it's fun to have that many talented people at the table.
And you mentioned something about the Leadership Circle luncheon where everybody, the excitement of people who've been involved for a while and to see how they laid the groundwork for where we are now. But I also want to thank the past directors, in addition to all of our community members who volunteer. But we have a lot of past directors who continue to serve on committees, and they bring their institutional knowledge, their expertise in their field to make us even better, and their time. I mean, they're all very busy people, but the very fact that they're willing to stay. Maybe it's that CFMC tattoo that you all get. I don't know.
Right. No, absolutely. There's some amazing historical perspective there, and just experience that you can't replace. And it's wonderful that they continue to be involved even when their terms officially have to cycle off as a function of governance. But I think it speaks a lot to how much they care about what's being done here, the fact that they do continue to be involved.
And I want to give a shout out, of course, to our wonderful donors who really believe in our work and who continue to support what we do. I am honored to open the mail every day and just thrilled that people from way back when still believe in us and continue to donate to their favorite fund or to operations or to unrestricted grant making. And they get it. So that really is a fun thing to do. And I'm also honored to just give a shout out to our nonprofits. They are the boots on the ground that make this community so special.
Absolutely.
Okay, Maureen. So we've done a look back. What are you looking forward to in 2026?
I'm looking forward to continuing what we're doing. I think I finally got a full sense of all the committees and what they're
Right.
doing as an ex officio member of them. And, the board, we've kind of all gone through the post-COVID where it's been, first it was all hybrid and now all remote, and now it's more hybrid, and really finding ways to just engage people directly and have those, whether it's a fundraiser that we all attend or an event, or doing more maybe workshops that are just about who we are and what we do,
Right.
and inviting people who may not be board members so they can learn about it. Because I think we're one of the best stories that doesn't get told all the time. And I think that's part of my goal for 2026 is really to get that word out there. And as we always say, to help good people do great things. And we can be that connection.
We have to do a little bit more shouting, maybe.
There you go.
About what we do. But I have to say thank you. It's been a pleasure to work with you, and the staff would say the same thing, to have you there. We know you're only a phone call or a text or an email away, and we can always count on you. And
Absolutely.
we've had some complex things to discuss this year. So as we grow into our mature age as a community foundation, we're coming up on 28 years next year. No, 29. And they say you grow up as a community foundation when you're 30 years old. So I think we're growing there.
And the difference between where you were when you started and where we are now, it's unbelievable in terms of the dollars and the impact. And it's just fun to see it continue to develop and grow.
So thank you for your time, your expertise. You always got a smile on your face. Never
My pleasure.
No,
for you guys.
Really appreciate that. And thank you to, let's say, a shout out to the board, of course, our partners. Please, everybody, make sure that you, if you see our partners list, please make sure that you work with them in the community because they are the backbone, to our staff, to our donors, and to our nonprofits. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Meaningful Mondays. At the Community Foundation of Middlesex County, we know that philanthropy matters and philanthropy works. Together, we support the arts, education, human services, animal welfare, the environment, heritage enhancements, and so much more by providing services, programs, and grants to our local nonprofits. We invite you to learn more and share your passion with us. Visit us at middlesexcountykcf.org or contact us at 860-347-0025. Together, we can make great things happen.